Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm back to do another gun review. This time I'm looking at the Walther PDP. I'm about to hop right in, but of course, before I hop right in, let me ask y'all as always to subscribe to the channel, like the video, watch it all the way through, and comment because we've been on a roll still. I just crossed 700 subs, so I appreciate all of y'all. Liking the video helps keep us in the algorithm and get us in the algorithm to reach new subs. Commenting does as well, like interacting with y'all, liking it, and of course watching it from beginning to end. That definitely helps. So, I appreciate every single one of y'all that's been here. So let's get to it. Let me clear the gun and make sure it's empty. It is. All right. So this is the Walther PDP. It's chambered in 9mm. I'm gonna just lead off with it so I can get it out the way. I don't recommend this gun. I'm not super fond of it, and just in general my experience with it. I'll talk about that a little later, but I didn't want to just hold that from y'all. But let me talk about what's in the box real quick. So you get the gun and 3 magazines. I'll come back to those. Typical box, nothing fancy. Paperwork, etc. Speed loader, back straps. And of course, I want to show you all this as always because I need to see that I bought this myself. Every gun y'all see on this channel, I buy with my own money. I don't get handouts, etc. So, but this is the Walther. It's chambered in 9mm. It does come with 3 magazines. They're each 18 rounders. Let me see if I can get that in there. If not, I'll take a picture. Let me go over some of the specs right quick. So, it has a 5-inch barrel. This is their full size. They do have one, I think another 5-inch barrel with 15 rounds instead of 18. And they have a smaller version with, I think, a 4-inch barrel. Standard magazine release right here. It's not fully ambidextrous, which I do appreciate, meaning it doesn't stick out on both sides. So you press the magazine release, magazine comes out. The trigger's pretty good. I actually like this trigger. It has that movement again as the travel. It hits that wall right there, which is very defined. Nice break. I don't have any problems with the trigger. Standard iron sights front and on the back. Now I replaced mine. These are just your regular, I think Glock 17 iron sights. They work, standard rail for a lighter or laser. One thing I do. One of the few things I like about this gun are the slide serrations right here up on the front and the back. It makes it really easy to rack the slide if I need to from the rear or the front. They're very, very defined. They're deep, and there's a lot of them. I like that. I also like the overall feel of the gun. This grip texture is really, really nice. I think Walther nailed it here. It feels really solid. This is probably one of my favorite built pistols that I own and have ever shot, at least in my experience so far. I think they nailed it with this. It has like these pseudo finger grooves along the grip as well. I also like this cut they put in it. They got this deep cut in the grip so I can drive my hand in there, lock it up. And, that's pretty solid. As far as shooting the gun, I think it shoots pretty well. Now, again, it's very let me say I'm accurate with it, and I think it shoots well. It is a little snappy for this being a pistol chambered in 9mm, and it's kind of big. But the recoil is a little snappy, but it's nothing you can't control. It's kind of easy to shoot. But minus that is really good. It feels good in the hand. But outside of that, it is cut for an optic. You can see I used to run my Aimpoint Acro P2 on here. I took it off, which I'll explain to in a little bit. But minus that, that's really all I have to say about this pistol as far as what I like. So I'm gonna get into why I don't recommend this gun and why I'm not fond of it. So the biggest issue I have with this pistol really is its lack of function, at least in my experience, and my experience with Walther customer service. That's number one. So let me get into that. You'll see right along the frame right here, I have that's the slide release or slide stop. I'm sorry. And so the way it functions is it serves a couple purposes. When you're shooting a gun and you empty the magazine on the last round, the slide locks back like this. The slide stop goes up. and you're able to look into it and see that the magazine's empty and look down the chamber. I mean the barrel, right? Also, if you wanted to, you can press it and send the slide forward. Now, the issue I was having was when I bought this gun about 2 years ago in 2023, I got it, took it to the range, shot it. You know, I was real geeked about it because most of the reviews that I actually like were very positive about this gun. So I would go and shoot it, and I would get to my last round in the magazine, and the slide, which is supposed to lock back when it's empty, would go forward like this. And so for those who don't know, when the slide goes forward, that's letting you as the shooter know that there should be another round in the chamber ready to fire. So I would pull the trigger, get a click, and no bang, right? So I'm thinking, that's weird, right? It put me off because it kept happening like every other round, every magazine, you know, it was kind of infrequent. So I put the gun down for a while and I stopped shooting it, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna leave this alone. So I came back to it later in the year, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll give it another try. Nope, same problem. The slide would not lock back on my last round. So I called Walther, you know, they're real cool about it. And I'm talking to the first rep, right? Now, here's what I'm going to get into my second issue. The first issue was the slide stop. The second issue was the rep. So when I was telling him what was happening, you know, I'm explaining what's going on, yada, yada. And he's like, okay, what type of ammo are you shooting? So I told him I was shooting this. This is MagTech. This is a manufacturer. Everybody knows what MagTech is. They make a lot of ammo, and everybody knows what MagTech is. I told him I was also shooting Underwood, right? Everybody knows Underwood. And I was shooting SMB. Now, not this SMB, but Soleil and below, right, in general, for 9mm. So when I told him these three brands, the dude said, what are those? Are those local, like, brands? And I was confused. I had a big question mark in my mind because I'm thinking, I was of the opinion he was suggesting that these ammo brands were made from a company like local to my city, not like a major brand. So I'm telling the dude, I said, well, no, everybody knows, like everybody knows what Underwood, MagTech, and S&B are. I'm like, what are you talking about, right? So then I asked him, I said, well, have you ever heard of like Buffalo Bore? Because everybody knows what Buffalo Bore is. And he's like, oh yeah, I've heard of Buffalo Bore. And I'm like, well, Underwood and Buffalo Bore are like the same thing. These are just the ammo I shot, and I get the issue. And he's like, oh, okay. You know, he wasn't sure. So I'm like, you know, that's a bit odd. Okay, that's almost like taking your car to a repair shop and the guy has never heard of Toyota, Hyundai, or Mercedes, but he's heard of BMW. It's like, what? Anyway, so, you know, Walther was cool with me sending this back to them. I sent it back. They turned it around very quickly, and then I got it back. I'm like, okay, cool. I went and shot it, had the same problem. I'm like, okay, that's strange. So I called them again. They said, yeah, just send us the gun. We'll look at it, yada, yada, yada. So sent it to them a second time. Got it back. Had the same problem. I called him again. I'm like, yo, I recorded me having the problem because the first 2 times I didn't. But the second time, when I got it back the third time I recorded it, I'm like, okay, you know, here's my video. I keep having the problem. So I sent it to him and they sent it back, and I had the same problem again. So I called him after I got it back the second time. And I'm like, hey, you know, I keep getting the same problem. What's going on? So here's what this rep told me. So basically it was my fault. He said that there are 2 gunsmiths who are the only 2 in the country that can perform this level of like high level work on it. Got the gun, took it, shot it. They couldn't replicate the issue, and they determined that it was a user problem. And I'm just like, well, that's weird. So I say, you know, I shoot guns all the time. What am I supposed to do? Like, if I keep having the same problem, am I supposed to just send it back to you for you all to say no problem and send it back to me? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. So, which is kind of dumb because I'm like, we're pretty much going to be in a loop getting nowhere. So I didn't like that, right? And I pretty much stopped shooting this pistol for almost like 2 years. And then I said, okay, let me just do some research. Maybe I'm not the only person that experiences this, and I'm not. If you go on YouTube right now and look up Walther PDP slide stop issues, you'll see that there is a good amount of people who have this problem. There's a prominent video who did talked about this. So what he ended up doing was he had to Dremel down. Let me show y'all the slide stop right here. He dremeled it down or cut some of it off to shorten it because it comes all the way back here. Now, I do have plenty of guns with extended slide releases. They don't come back this far. They do come out, but not this far. And so once he trimmed his down, he didn't have a problem anymore. So I'm like, okay, there are other issues. There are people with this issue. It's not just me. I have footage of it happening. And then I just so happened to be at my gun range, and one of the guys that works there, he's talking to me about it. He's like, yeah, I just picked up the same PDP, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, I don't like it. I'm telling him why I don't like it. He starts nodding his head and laughing. He's like, yeah, well, I better know what the problem is. And I'm like, yeah, my slide stop don't work. He's like, yeah, I have the same problem. And I'm just like, that's just wild that, nobody talks about this problem. And maybe it's just me and a small amount of people, but I think that still matters. And so to me, I think it's more of a design thing. And after that, I was like, okay, let me take it to my gunsmith, have him look at it and see what the problem is. Now, when he got this pistol, he immediately said, yeah, it's a dumb design choice. It shouldn't be that far back. So what the conclusion came to be is that, yes, the slide stop, because it comes so far back, it sits naturally where my off thumb would be at. And so inadvertently, I might ride the slide release sometimes, or slide stop. And sure, I can acknowledge that. If that's me, that's me. But my thing is, again, I own many, many pistols that have extended slide stops, and I don't have that problem. And I'll show you all some of them, right? So let me, for example, this one, right? This is my Taurus TX22. You can't see it that well, but the slide stop is extended. It does stick out, and I don't have any problem with the slide stopping back. My FN 502, excuse it, I'm doing some work to it, but the slide stop right here is extended. It doesn't get in my way. The slide locks back. My Glock 29, regular slide stop. No problems with it locking back, right? My Glock 40, right here. Now this has a aftermarket extended slide stop, and it comes back a little bit and it sticks out. No problems locking the slide back when I'm shooting. And then the biggest one of all, right, is my SIG P320, my X10. This is my carry pistol. Now, I'm gonna put some pictures up, but the slide stop on both sides, it sticks out a whole lot. I mean, it's almost like you could put a hanger on this. And I never have problems with my slide locking back. So why that's the case with this Walther, I don't know. But the fact that it's a thing and no one talks about it, and Walther just pretty much said, it's your fault, I don't like that. So, but it's just been sucky, to be honest, because minus that, this will be my pistol of the year for like the next couple of years. I really like its design physically, but it's just kind of unfortunate. But anyways, I'm gonna head over to the range. I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna let y'all know how it goes. Maybe I'll strike gold and I won't have that problem, but I doubt it. But anyways, let's get over to the range. Okay, so my first group of shots is at 7 yards. I'll be shooting the Fiocchi 115 grain bullet. Let's see if the slide locks back. Nope. Got the click, no bang. The slide did not lock back. Let's check the mag, check the gun. Nothing in there. It should have locked back, but it didn't. So let's put my target in and see how I did at 7. All right, so my next group is at 10 yards. I'm shooting the Federal 124 grain bullet. Let's see if I can maybe get it to work this time.
Oh, it actually locked back this time. So, hey, finally it worked. But let's bring my target in and see how I did. Okay, so for this last group, I was shooting at 21 yards. I'm shooting the Winchester red and white box 115 grain bullet. So let's see if we can get the Walther to work on the third time. Same problem, didn't lock back. So anyways, let's bring the target in and we'll get back to the table and wrap it up.
All right, y'all, so back from shooting. And as you can see, I demonstrated the issue, and that's just where I'm at with this gun. Again, I can enlarge my thumb accidentally rides it, but to me, I do think the PDP has this design issue. I'm not the only person that experiences it, and it does suck. It takes away from what I believe could have been a really good pistol. Walther's customer service didn't help, and they kind of suck for that. Actually, they do suck for that, you know. It's unfortunate. There are no aftermarket support as far as getting a shortened one, and I'm just kind of stuck with a pistol that, again, unless I alter my grip and maybe shoot a different way, which I'm not going to do. I don't like the pistol that much to change my grip to shoot just this gun when I shoot all my other guns the exact same way. So I don't know. That's my thought. These are my experiences. Let me know what y'all think. Do any of y'all own the PDP, and what are your experiences with it? You know, comment in the video, of course. Subscribe, like the video, watch it all the way through, and I'll catch y'all at the next one. Peace.